Hey guys! So I'm going to be I'm going to do a little chatty video about Tayrona National Park in Colombia. So I was traveling with an English guy and a German guy, and we're in Santa Marta, and we decided to do go to Tayrona National Park for 2 nights, 3 days. So it's really easy to take the local bus from Santa Marta to Tayrona National Park. Which is probably an hour and a half away. And then you get there, and we were told to bring all of our water, all of our food, everything. So we just had sandwiches and stuff, but our packs were pretty heavy because we were planning on spending 3 days there. So we had like 3 liters each, which isn't, like, maybe more. I might have had like 4 or 5 liters. But we were pretty, our packs were just pretty heavy because of that fact. But to get in, you have to pay an entrance fee, and it's a national park. And if you have a student ID, it is a lot cheaper to get into the national park. I didn't have a student ID. I'm not a student, so I didn't pay. I paid that extra. Like, it was a lot more. Like, student prices are way cheaper. But the German guy and the British guy got to pay the super cheap price. But whatever, it's going to a national park. So we decided to walk, which there's a bus that goes closer to the campsite, but we walked. And then we had so much, like, packs, or so much water and stuff. It was so heavy. So we walked, and then we got to the end point, and then you had to walk some more, and it's beautiful. It's absolutely stunning. So you walk some more, and finally it's like getting dark out, and I'm like, oh my gosh, we have to find our campsite. And when I mean campsite, I mean where there's hammocks. You can rent a tent or you can rent a hammock, but you know, I love my hammocks. So obviously I was gonna get a hammock, and the hammocks have mosquito nettings and everything. So we finally get there, and there's a few different places you can go to. But we just kind of did the first one, which was fine. There's a main one, which is the cover of the Lonely Planet book is Tayrona National Park, and that's where the main campsite is, but usually that's full, and so we just did the last main one, and that's kind of our base. So we were there, and then the second day we hiked from our campsite to the main area, the main beach, and we just kind of looked around there. We swam for a bit, and then you can hike more into the jungle and see a traditional village. So my friend and I did that, and then we hiked back, and then we decided to go back to the original campsite because there wasn't any more room at the main place. So next to our campsite, the campsite that we stayed at 2 nights, there's the beach, and then between the beach and the campsite there's like this little swampy area, and I was looking in the swamp. We were just looking at the beach and stuff, and I was looking in the swamp, and I see this log, and it looks a lot like an alligator, like a really big alligator. So I'm telling the German English guy, I'm like, that log looks like an alligator, and they're like, they look at it, they're like, no, that's log, Kim. And I'm like getting closer and closer to it, and I'm like, that looks like an alligator. And they're just kind of bored with this conversation because they thought it was a log. So they're like, whatever, it's a log. And they start walking away. And I'm getting closer and closer to this log alligator. And I'm like turning around and being like, I think it's an alligator. And then I look, and people that work at the campsite, they're like, get away from there, get away from there. And I was like, are there alligators in here? And they're like, yes. I was like, okay, good, it's an alligator. And I was like really close to it. But yeah, we were sleeping next to that all night, so yeah, that was safe. And then we sleep there one more night, and then the next day we hike out, which is a lot easier to hike out when you don't have any more water left. in your packs, so they weren't as heavy on the way out. After Tayrona National Park, I went up to the another city with the German guy. It's a nice little beach city, and again I got a hammock, and my German friend, he didn't want to stay overnight. He was like shopping for some kind of bag, but he couldn't find it, and I stayed overnight by myself. And the German guy wanted to go scuba diving and get scuba dive certified back in Santa Marta, which I was planning on doing too, but I wanted to spend a little bit more time in this beach town. So I stayed overnight, and I was like, I'll just meet up with you. And so then we were a day apart. So then I stayed overnight, decided not to stay any longer because I was going to go up north more to the most northern tip of South America, but I was traveling by myself, and I didn't really feel safe doing that because they said it was a lot of hard work to do it, and you had to know Spanish very well. Don't know how true that is because I never did it. So I went back to Santa Marta, and I went to the town that gives scuba certifications. And I was looking for my friend, and I couldn't find him. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go to my own place and get it scuba certified. So I found this place. It's like a safari type scuba lessons, and they take you for like 3 days. So they take you for 2 days out to Tayrona National Park, but a different place than we went. And you stay in this in hammocks out there, and you spend 2 days there. Depending on what day you sign up. Mine was 2 days there and then 1 day back in the town. And so I signed up for that one. I was like, I couldn't find my friend, my German friend, and I was like, whatever. So I signed up for that one and went out, and the ride to the island was the bumpiest ride ever. I was getting spray in my face, and I didn't really bring my whole pack. I just brought like a few swimsuits, and like, I don't know, I wish I would have asked more questions, because I got there and it's just windy, and I hate wind so bad. I hate wind, and it was just cold. So, and during the day it's kind of boring because people only had like 2 scuba lessons a day, and then the rest of the day you just hung out. The food was really good. So I didn't bring a blanket or anything, which I had a sleeping bag. Like, I had a thermal sleeping bag, but I didn't bring it. So I just thought, I don't know, I thought they had blankets and stuff. And they didn't. So I like literally had like 2 extra hammocks like as blankets on top of me. But when I was there, I was kind of chilling out. Everyone was just reading books. Like, either you could snorkel or hang out but I was always a day behind everyone, and because there was a group there already. And but then all of a sudden, my German friend shows up on this little place with the hammocks and stuff, and here he had chosen the exact same company as me and had been out on this safari. So he was a day earlier than me. So the first day of scuba lessons, I had the boss, the owner of the company, all to myself, and he kind of taught me everything because everyone was 1 day ahead of me. And then the second day he had left, and so I was thrown in with all these other people who were like getting their advanced certification. And then like there's a big difference from day 1 to day 2 to day 3. Like by day 3 I was like, I had it. Day 2 I was still freaking out, and then I was with new instructors, and I was with new people, and I was just a mess. Everyone was like, you're running into the coral. Like, I couldn't balance myself. I was just a mess the second day, and I hated it. I was like, I never want to just like I don't like wetsuits are just tight, and I don't like that feeling, and then you have that gross wetness, and I don't like that. And mine was too tight on me, and then the other one was too big on me, and the oxygen's really heavy, and the whole thing, like, I was not enjoying the second day at all. And then the third day we go back to the town, and I have everyone else is done with their certifications because I'm a day behind. So we go back and you're supposed to like take a quiz at the end. So I took my quiz with everyone else. So I took my quiz a day before, but since I was a day off, no one really like, it was like a 3-hour movie you're supposed to watch and I never watched it. They kind of forgot about me, I guess. And they kind of set you all down and you took it as a group quiz. And so everyone kind of knew the answers but me. So I just kind of cheated, I guess. But it's alright because I don't think I'll go scuba diving again. So I got all the answers from our group quiz. And then the third day, they were all gone because they had finished their certifications, including my German friend. Because we had to leave, we had to separate. And then he had to go home or something like that. So then I had like 3 new girls that were on their first day and I was on my 3rd day. So then all of a sudden I was like the experienced one. And I was back with the owner instructor guy and I just really enjoyed him better because he was kind of goofier and funnier and just really took time with me. And it could have just been like I had individual lessons with him. Whereas the other like instructors, I had a group of like 10, so I wasn't quite individual. So I had another swim lesson with him and then I got certified and yeah. So that's, I don't think I'm qualified to go scuba diving, but I have a certificate. But yeah, so that's my Santa Marta scuba diving lesson. After that, I go to Cartagena and I'll make another chatty video about Cartagena and my sailboat ride to Panama. And then that's all of South America. But yay! Okay, bye guys.